I wish I were there, you know I wish you were here. It's not yet been a month, I know, already it feels a year. I could write a letter, I'd probably do that too. For now I'll write a song, and I'll sing it just for you. Oh, yeah. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When you go to sleep, close your eyes and dream a dream. There's nowhere that the mind can't reach. There's nothing that the eye can't see. Liverpool will soon be there. We will dance without a care. For that I know we must go. The city waits for you. Oh, yeah. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ticket to ride, ferry cross the Mersey, Penny Lane, you know that she loves you. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's it like in Liverpool? Oh, yeah. What's it like in Liverpool? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wish I were there, you know I wish you were here. It's not yet been a month, I know, already it feels a year. I could write a letter, I'd probably do that too. For now I'll write a song, and I'll sing it just for you. Oh, yeah. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When you go to sleep, close your eyes and dream a dream. There's nowhere that the mind can't reach. There's nothing that the eye can't see. Liverpool will soon be there. We will dance without a care. For that I know we must go. The city waits for you. Oh, yeah. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ticket to ride, ferry crossing Mersey, Penny Lane, you know that she loves you. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. Oh, 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 oh. What's it like in Liverpool? Oh, 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 oh. What's it like in Liverpool? I wish I were there, you know I wish you were here. It's not yet been a month, I know, already it feels a year. I could write a letter, I'd probably do that too. For now I'll write a song and I'll sing it just for you. Oh, oh. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. Oh, 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 oh. When you go to sleep, close your eyes and dream a dream. There's nowhere that the mind can't reach, there's nothing that the eye can't see. Liverpool will soon be there, we will dance without a care. For that I know we must go, the city waits for you. Oh, oh. What's it like in Liverpool? Although I'm half the world away, you know that I'll be coming home to you. Can you raise a smile? Can you make it all worthwhile? Without you I don't know what I would do, but I'll be home soon. Oh, 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 oh.
Alright everyone, just give you all a couple of seconds to log on. Got my comments scrolling on Facebook, but we are doing it on YouTube. Hello to everyone in Carragher's, New York as well. So this is the first in a series that we're doing with a legend. We've got the gentleman that is Roy Evans coming a little bit later on with Robbie, your host. And my name's Marc Kenny, going to do a couple of songs to kick things off.
There's something that the cop wants you to know. The best in the world is Robbie for me, no.
On Facebook, we are doing it on YouTube. Hello to everyone in Carragher's, New York as well. So this is the first in a series that we're doing with a legend. We've got the gentleman that is Roy Evans coming a little bit later on with Robbie, your host. So my name's Marc Kenny, going to do a couple of songs to kick things off.
The best in the world is Robbie for me, no. There's something that the cop wants you to know. Every time. The best in the world is Robbie for me, no.
On Facebook, we are doing it on YouTube. Hello to everyone in Carragher's, New York as well. So this is the first in a series that we're doing with a legend. We've got the gentleman that is Roy Evans coming a little bit.
Giving the ball and he scored every time. Si, senor. Give the ball to Bobby and he will score.
There we go. Is that working? Let us know in the comments. It's coming through. I'm going to do another one. I believe we might have had a little bit of technical there. We're good now. In 1992, Prince was born. His name Mo Salah. One day he'll be king. It's his destiny. On the football field, no one comes close to Salah, the best we've ever seen in all our days. We're on the road to glory. Salah is the key. Salah gets a side of goal. He makes us all believe. Mo Salah, Mo Salah, Mo Salah, running down the wing. Salah, la 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 la, Egyptian king. Record books will read one name, Mohammed Salah. Now he is the king with the world at his feet. We're on the road to glory. Salah is the key. Salah gets a side of goal. He makes us all believe. Mo Salah, Mo Salah, Mo Salah, running down the wing. Salah, la 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 la, Egyptian king. So hello to everybody wherever you've clicked in from. We're going live a couple of places here with our first in the series with Roy Evans. So we're on Carragher's, New York. We're also doing a stream on YouTube and exclusive to the Kopconnect Facebook group as well. Mo Salah, Mo Salah, Mo Salah, running down the wing. Salah, la 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 la, Egyptian king. Mo Salah, Mo Salah, Mo Salah, running down the wing. Salah, la 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 la, Egyptian king. Nice one, right? I'm going to hand you over to our host, Rob Glover, who's going to introduce Mr. Roy Evans.
Cheers, Mark. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Give it up for Mr. Marc Kenny. I guess that's a virtual round of applause these days, seeing as though we're not in person. And from Mark to a man that needs no introduction. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the absolute living legend himself, and as Mark rightly said, the gentleman in his own right, Mr. Roy Evans. Hiya, Roy. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Are you lads okay?
Yeah, doing all right, mate. So you're back home in sunny Liverpool at the minute?
We are, yeah. It's not quite sunny, but these days, but it's not too bad. But it's getting a bit boring now with no football, that's for sure.
Well, luckily, we're in luck because the footy's coming back on Saturday. So let's start with that, eh?
Yeah, start on Saturday, but unfortunately, we can't go to that. I mean, I could probably go if I asked the question to Liverpool. They would say, yeah, you can come. But then if some of the fans saw that, then they'd be saying, well, that's not right, because obviously everybody's keeping There's no fans there at the moment, so it's we've got to keep away for a while.
Got to keep away. I mean, I know it's a little bit of an interesting one. I mean, we can dive to not having fans, back in the stadium a little bit later on. But starting the season as champions, I mean, what's that first day walking out? I mean, you've been involved in so many different league titles down the years with Liverpool Football Club, mate. What's that like? What are the lads probably going through right now? And we're all excited as fans, but what do you think it's like for the players?
Oh, they'll be excited as well. I mean, they've played a couple of friendly matches, and they've gone okay. But to get the full squad back together, and of course get out there and play, it'll be a decent game against one of our biggest rivals, Leeds. Leeds years ago were a team that matched Liverpool step for step in terms of cup competitions and leagues. So it'll be a really decent game. And one thing about Leeds, they'll make it difficult for Liverpool to win. But Liverpool have got to make sure that they react the right way. And you don't go there with an idea thinking, oh, yeah, we can win this easy. It'll be a big challenge. But I think what we've got in terms of our ability, we should win the game.
Absolutely. I mean, Leeds, that's a story all in its own right with Leeds, mate. And what are your thoughts about having them back up in the Premier League or up in the top flight? I mean, you've had some battles against Leeds over the years yourself. Tell us a little bit about that and what your thoughts are with having Leeds back up.
Well, they're always like great games against Leeds. Obviously, they're a bit like derby games. I mean, I know it's a few further away than that Leeds. It's 100 miles or so away. But the games against Leeds, because both teams were always challenging at the top, they were very physical. I mean, both teams had quite a lot of physical players. Certainly in the early days, you go back to Tommy Smith and people like that, and they had Billy Bremner and other players that would like to kick you rather than the ball. But they were a decent team as well. They were difficult to play against, and I'm pleased that they're back in the Premiership. A team like that, it's taken a long time for them to get back, but I am pleased that they're there, and as I say, we can't take anything for granted.
So looking at the other opposition as well, I mean, a lot of teams have definitely strengthened. I know there's already been a couple of different questions going in about different strengthening the squads. I mean, do you think we're strong enough going forwards into this new season, starting as champions?
I do. I'm one of them. Again, obviously, it would be nice if we could have signed maybe some more people. But at the end of the day, I think you should only buy if it's going to improve your squad. I don't just believe in buying for the sake of the fans. I mean, the fans would like to see you buy new players, but I don't like just buying for the sake of it. If it's improving your squad, then that's okay. That's good. But we have a great squad at this moment in time. I mean, last year, yes, we won the Premiership for the first time. We won it in great style and with a lot of points. But we've got to put that to one side. I mean, you go back to those Shankly days and Ronnie Moran, who was one of our big coaches then, but I said, right, you've won the league. Here's your medals. Right, let's not think about that. Let's think about next season. And that's the type of attitude I think you have to have. Last year was last year. Got to start again. And as I say, we've got the players to do it. Not only are the ones that we've already been played every year, we've got 3 or 4 really good players coming through the youth system, and are now starting to break into that first team in the odd game in pre-season.
Got ya. I mean, that's a huge point as well. I mean, I want to unpack that a little bit with you. So talking back to Ronnie Moran and obviously kind of the coaching staff days and the attitude kind of back then. I mean, it's infamous within kind of the boot room and all of that stuff, But what was it like, the mentality, I guess, for really the coaching staff approaching the start of a new season,
Yeah, again, obviously players come back and you get them for more or less a month before, which in this case is not quite the same because obviously they haven't had much of a holiday. They haven't really been away too long. So your training schedules are a little bit lighter, but you get them fit and then you start to pick your team and then you start to see who's in form and who's in not. And it's, again, one year we actually only used 15 players in the whole season. And we actually won the league by about 3 or 4 points, which was amazing. Nowadays, of course, it's about having players in the right time, right place, and backup. So you've got to work out and you've got to see the type of system that you want to play. But most of all, it's about getting the players' mind in the right place. As I say, it's very easy for them to say, yeah, well, we won by 30 points or 25 points or whatever it was. We'll do that again. you'll only do it again if you go out with the same attitude we had last year. And the year before, to be fair, and we were a little bit short with Man City winning it. But that would be a great sort of rivalry again. And City have certainly bought a few players. And the rivalry between like Man City and Man United will want to get up there, thereabouts. So we've got to be at our very best there. But I think with Jurgen Klopp, I have to really, really say, I think he's done a fantastic job as the manager. I like the style that we play. And obviously the results that we've got from it have been absolutely brilliant. So I'm sure that Jurgen will get the lads' mentality in the right place.
And then, as the follow-up question, you spoke a little bit about kind of the youth and the bedding in players, the bedding in of players. I mean, even kind of during your time, even as an apprentice earlier on, as a player yourself, turning up kind of day one at Liverpool. Tell us a little bit about what that's like. I mean, as an apprentice or as a young player, kind of coming to a team that is champions.
Yeah, well, again, I left during Liverpool in 1964. I mean, I played obviously from my school team, and I played like for Lancashire schoolboys, and then I'd also played for England schoolboys, which you played at Wembley against foreign teams and whatever. And then you come to Liverpool. I was lucky enough to ask them they wanted to sign me, and of course, being a Liverpoolian, I said, yeah, I could have gone anywhere else, Everton or Man United. I could have gone anywhere, but being a Liverpool guy that I was, I wanted to go there. And of course, you start off in the lower teams with the youth players, and you try and make yourself forward. And I was very good at getting from like the sort of the B team to the A team, and the A team into the reserves, and then the first team was next. And then it's a brick wall really trying to get into that team, mainly because they were winning trophies all the time, and there weren't many changes made. So I ended up only playing maybe 15 games in the first team, 3 every season. And that's a regret that I'll always have, unfortunately. But I suppose the real message came when Bob Paisley said to me, we'd like to make you a coach. And there was obviously a message there somewhere, not the message I wanted to hear. But at the end of the day, I said, well, I don't want to be a coach, I want to be a player. But in the end, I took the job and I had the reserves for 10 years. And during that time, I won the title about 9 times. And then I sort of moved on to the first team again, and we were still winning titles alongside them, and with different managers, Kenny Dalglish, Joe Fagan, Bob Paisley, I say Ronnie Moran. So they were all the people from the boot room. So my career was, but I had a choice. I'd rather have been a player. But okay, I think we did okay as a coach, and as I say, even when I was with the first team, okay, we already won the League Cup. But we were always thereabouts in terms of the league, but not quite good enough.
So even sticking to your time as a player, mate, you got to play over in the States as well for a little while, eh? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, I wasn't getting in Liverpool's team, and obviously the seasons are slightly different. So the end of Liverpool's season, I sort of left with about 2 games to go, and they let me go to Philadelphia on loan for the 4 months that is the season. And to be fair, we actually won the American Championship. So all these lads who play for Liverpool and had all these medals and things like that. So when I came back, I went, they used to say, show us your medals. And I just said, well, show us your ring. Which in America, you get a ring rather than a medal. So, so they had all these medals, but I had this American ring, which no one else had ever won. So it was a nice little thing to have in your pocket, if you like.
Quite literally. Yeah, the big thing.
Too big to put in your finger, yeah.
That's it. I mean, luckily, I've been living in Boston for a little while, so we know about championship rings. That's just a nice little throwaway for some of the American fans. But no, I mean, even down in them. So again, coming back to kind of youth players and really bedding into the team and where that goes. I mean, yeah, we're live on Carragher's bar as well at the minute. So even breaking Jamie and tell us a little bit about kind of how the youth of that really came through and how that decision making was for you as a manager at the time to allow, especially a local player. We see it now with a couple of the young lads, but especially a local player breaking into the team.
Yeah, to be fair, there's nothing more delightful than getting a player through the whole system. And you talk about Robbie Fowler, you've got McManaman, you've got Jamie Carragher, and all these lads, Michael Owen, they've all come through the system. And to get 4 or 5 players into your first team, starting from when they were 15, and you train them through different sections of the reserves. And to get a team like that was great. And it means that obviously when you were doing the right thing with the young lads, you've got to obviously coach them, you've got to talk to them, you've got to make sure they keep their confidence, but without getting too cocky or whatever. It's man management in many ways. As I say, you've got to be very good at praising them, because everyone reacts really good to praise, no matter what. You know, like you saying the other day, somebody said, "Oh, that was great, well done." You stick your chest out and you think, "Great." Football is exactly the same. So you praise them, and that gives you the right on the day when they don't perform as well as they should to kick them up the backside, if you like, and say that's not good enough. You're not good enough for Liverpool. You've got to do better than that. So over the years, it was the management side became. It's very rewarding when you get players go through from certainly in the lower part of the club into the top position.
And how do you think now? I mean, nowadays, obviously, we're getting the new training complex, and it's a bit of a sad farewell to Melwood. So kind of a little bit on the times at Melwood that you'd spent over the years, mate, and kind of saying goodbye to Melwood. But where do you think that how does that bode for the future for the youth development? You know, the whole host of players that are coming through the academy now, and what are your thoughts kind of on that, mate?
Well, again, I mean, Melwood was great. It was a place where we did all our training and all the trophies we won when we were at that place, and yeah, you will be quite sorry to leave it. But again, to go to where it is now in Kirby, it meant it's actually got obviously far better facilities. And you can't live in the past. At the end of the day, you've got to move on. Things move on. You've probably got more people in the training ground, and the one in Kirby is much bigger than Melwood was. So there's no regrets in that. I mean, we sort of left it. We all sort of had a drink and said goodbye to it in many ways, because it's been a great place for us. But now it's fair enough. We've got a place with the great facilities and hopefully a team to match.
No, I mean the facilities are pretty incredible. I mean, you know, the development even now with Anfield as well. I mean, the new main stand is something that's incredible, right? So I know that kind of you get to go and watch the games, or we did pre-COVID, pre the lights going out, but get to go watch the games and kind of be in the lounges and stuff there. I mean, how's the new main stand been in the facilities in terms of kind of the atmosphere there?
Well, it's great. I mean, things have changed. When I joined in '64, the Kop was everything was standing up. You can stand in the paddock as well. So, and even in the Anfield Road ends. Now it's all about seating, but it's been done well. So they're all very compact, and it creates a fantastic atmosphere. And so that's always, and that's a big part of Liverpool Football Club's way of playing. With the fans get behind the players, and they've been brilliant over the years. So. Without the players there, it makes it obviously different. But you've got to get on with your job. You've got to be professional about it. But as I say, it's the whole club has changed in many ways, and for the better over the many years that I was there.
I mean, talking about the fans, mate. We're actually going to go to a fan question. We've had a couple of fans kind of phone in a couple of different questions for us. So on the behind the scenes, we've got our producer in the background. So if we can get the first fan question up, please, mate.
Hello, Robbie.
Hey, Roy. Here's Leah and Raul in Mexico from You'll Never Walk Alone World. Roy, you've been part of the club for a long time. As a player, as a manager, you've been part of great eras. You know the club from the inside. But nowadays, Liverpool is a global phenomenon. There's fans all over the world like ourselves, and here in Mexico. There's also fans in Africa, in Asia, in Australia, in all of America. And, well, back in the days when you were a manager, and even before, a player, did you ever think that Liverpool was going to unite not only people in England, but people all over the world? Thank you, Roy. Goodbye.
Never walk alone. Goodbye, Roy.
So yeah, mate. I mean, that was Raul coming to us from Mexico City, and his little daughter, who, believe it or not, she's only 3 years old, but she was really excited to kind of get involved. So as I say, mate, the main question was kind of just about the global fan base, and what's it like having such a vast global fan base. You've seen that develop over the years. So talk to us a little about that.
It is, because when I first joined Liverpool, obviously Everton were actually the team that were in the first division as it was at the time. We came from the second division and came up, and and started to sort of challenge all the teams in that league, and then became very successful. The very clever thing we did amongst our fans, obviously we're always going to get some in Liverpool, some Everton, some Liverpool. The clever thing we did is at the end of seasons we went and went out and played sort of games, one game extra somewhere in different countries. And over the years we've been to Japan, we went to Europe, we played in America, we played all sorts of places. And I think that was really the way that fans sort of jumped on board because of the style we were playing, because we were starting to win trophies, and because all fans like to be fans of teams that are winning, to be fair. And I think that's the way the whole thing developed. And now I think, again, not only because of the football, obviously people then started pouring into Liverpool from different countries and whatever. And of course, with the music side of things, the Beatles and the Searchers and all those things, Liverpool was always a popular place even then. Then with the football, or the soccer, as you would call it in your part of the world, the football and the soccer then days was great as well. And the city's always been welcoming to them sort of people. So even to this day now, we do get people from all over the world, and it's great to see that we have such fantastic support, and I'm glad they'll all be pleased from last year.
Yeah, I mean, mate, you touched a little bit on music. I just want to dive to that as well before we go to another fan question. Just kind of the musical era. I mean, you know, the Searchers and the Mersey Beats, and then obviously kind of into the Beatles and stuff, and you know, carrying on today with the culture of that, even with Mark singing away for us. But what was it kind of like, and when did I guess kind of on the Kop, you know, what was it like when the singing used to start in the old Kop? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, just something different, because again, all the music sort of came out, and everyone was like, Liverpool was like, had all these sort of artists of different styles, different classes, and the football just took off with it. The same, they started to use the pop songs, if you like, to support the team, and lots of different things. And you know what Scousers are like. They like a bit of humour. They all like a bit of fun. They all like to take the mick out of each other, whatever. But they all like to think that they can sing as well, and it just took off. And I say that, you think like, we've carried that on better, even like the song "You'll Never Walk Alone," which is like our hymn, really. It's like a hymn for us at the end of the day. It's carried on for many years, and we still, to this day, we still love a little sing and a chant. And as Mark did, he sang one of the ones before, Mo Salah, and and different ones. So they've got songs for every player, and it makes a great atmosphere. That's for sure.
So we're going to go back to another fan question. Now, this is a little bit of a special one that came in, to be honest. This is crossing the sporting boundaries, and this is a former world champion boxer, Northern Irish lad, Wayne McCullough. Roll that for us, please, Kelly.
Hi, Roy. Wayne McCullough here, former world boxing champion, Olympic silver medalist. Question for you: you're interested in boxing? Who's your favourite fighter? I'm just joking. The question is, what was your biggest achievement for you as a player and a manager?
Yeah, so Roy, the first question was, he said, who's your favourite fighter? And then he said he's just joking. So I don't know if you're into the boxing at all, but kind of one of your big favourite boxers.
Well, I actually, when I joined, just before I joined Liverpool, at the age of 14, 15, I used to go and do a bit of boxing. And to be fair, unfortunately, when I was playing football or in the street, a lad with a golf club swung it, and it caught my lip, and it split my lip right down the middle there. So the first time I started to box, and I did all the training of the boxing things, and so at the age of like 14, I have a little spar with a guy. So, but the first time he just like threw a punch, and he caught me on the lip. The lip started to bleed. Well, that was the end of my boxing career. But I mean, I'm not exactly the tallest or the strongest, so probably the best thing that ever happened to me.
And then his follow-up question, or his real question, is what he'd said there, was what was your biggest achievement for you as a player and a manager?
Difficult. I mean, again, I'd like to have played more. I mean, but I haven't. Just that the fact that you have played for Liverpool even though maybe only 15 games at different times, it is nice to play. I mean, I played against Man United one time and we beat them 3-1. and I played against George Best. And to be fair, like, George, after the game, and, "Oh, well done, lad," he said, "I thought you played really well there." He said, "Well done." He said, "Thanks for not kicking me." I said, "Yeah, George, thanks for that." But I said, "I couldn't even catch you, never mind kick you." But playing was obviously the greatest thing. And I think the achievements, I mean, as the manager, and certainly as the reserve team manager, we won a lot of trophies every year. We won year after year after year. And as the manager, I always thought we did well. We were always a good team to watch. But when you're Liverpool, it's about the expectations of your fans. And as I say, unfortunately, at that time, Man United were probably just a better team than we were. So we were always in the top four. We were always sort of qualified for the European little spin. But at the end of it, they were more or less the biggest team at the time. So the top, finishing third or fourth was always decent. But if you're Liverpool, that's not good enough.
I mean, I think kind of the ins and outs of that. I mean, playing against George Best, mate, first and foremost. I mean, you couldn't catch him, let alone kick him. Was that the phrase that you said?
That's it, yeah.
Unbelievable. And then, yeah, I know you said kind of the time as well. I mean, I feel like I like to say so many times with the 30-year wait how Alex Ferguson truly ruined my childhood. But I think on the ins and outs of where that was, and I know you actually had a good rapport with Alex Ferguson as well. Can we dive into that a little bit?
Yeah, like everything else, I mean, we've always had a great rapport with Everton, even to this day. I mean, now, obviously, a lot of things going on now with people homeless and whatever. So Everton has a foundation. We have a foundation, and they tend to work together to make sure that people get looked after, which is great. But going back to them days, okay, yeah. Once the game was on, it was Everton versus Liverpool, it was Man United versus Liverpool. Hey, once the ball kicked off, then it was war. Not ridiculous, but again, obviously it was against you want to win, you want to beat them well. And at the end of the day, once the game was finished, Liverpool were the first team to actually start it. That's hence the boot room, is that after the game, win, lose or draw, come and have a drink before you go home. And the opposite team, not the team would come in. The team used to go into the players' lounge, but the coaches like Alex Ferguson and his medical people. There's only about 3 coaches there alongside that. Now there's probably about 10, if you like, after a match.
Whole bench full of coaches.
Yeah, and coaches and medics and different things. But so overall, when the game was on, it was, as I say, it was war. But after that, we were great mates. I always got on well with Alex over the day. I always got on with the Everton managers, whatever they were. And as I say, that's how it should be at the end of it. I mean, even when it comes to fans, I mean, sometimes you get like a household which you've got 2 Liverpool fans and you've got 2 Everton fans, and they've got to get on. So once, as I said, on the day they wouldn't talk to each other. On another day, the other two things would say, "Well," so there's always that great thing. And even that today, went to the thing. There was 2 or 3 Everton lads. They had a thing I've just done similar to this today, and it's always nice to see them. But you just give them a little kick on the way out.
Brilliant. All right, we're going to go to Las Vegas now for this next question. This is one of our live girls over there. This is Stacey. You got to meet her out in Las Vegas last time you were over, and hopefully she'll be around again in June when we head back over there. Fingers crossed due to COVID.
Hopefully.
Hi, Roy. It's me, Stacey Galandi in Las Vegas. I hope you remember me. Hey, so my question is, now that we don't have fans at Anfield, do you think that is going to hurt our home field advantage?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
So yeah, if you think I think the fans not being at Anfield, mate, is that going to hurt the home field advantage?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, we've always been famous for our fans. Obviously the Kop, but from all around the ground, there's a great amount of fans. As I say, a lot of people coming from lots of places, and we've always prided ourselves with that. But it's the same for both teams. But once the Kop gets singing, and once if you can get ahead and you've got them behind you, and I mean they do build up the way you play, and you respond to that in many ways. It's been like that though. To be fair, most of the season. towards the end. Obviously, we had to do the same thing. We couldn't go to the games then. So I think we're used to that. And in some cases, it can take a little bit of pressure. I mean, again, they weren't always nice here. Obviously, you have a bad time and you get beat at Anfield. And then they can cut you in half. I mean, they can start going the other way and be very negative against it. And that's how it should be at the end of the day. That's what fans go there for. But overall, I think we will miss them as much as, or maybe more than any other club, because we've always been a team with a fantastic bunch of fans.
Especially on those European nights, eh?
Well, European nights, yeah, but any nights. I mean, again, you're playing Man City, you're playing Man United, you're playing Everton, with all these teams that Leeds come back into the picture. We've always had them little parts there. Again, what the games you think you've got to win are the hardest games to win. So that's where the mentality starts to come in.
So we're going to stay over in the US and on that coast for right now, mate. We're going to go from Las Vegas up to San Diego.
Roy, this is Stephen McGlynn from San Diego, California. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to do this. My question to you is, after all the years with Liverpool Football Club under Shankly, Paisley, Fagan, Dalglish, Souness, if you could go back to one game to change an outcome, a goal, an injury, what game would you go back to? And what's the one thing you would change?
Yeah, so I'm not too sure whether you got to hear that one, mate. So it was Steve was saying, of all of the years that you've kind of been there with Liverpool Football Club and through all of the different managers and the different successes that you've had within the club, if you could go back to one game and change the outcome, be that a goal or an injury, what would you go back to, and what's the one thing that you would change?
Ooh, that's a difficult question. Lots of games. I mean, when you're there 30 years, like it's not the games to go back to. I suppose if you go back to when I was manager, I would say that, well, obviously the FA Cup final against Man United, like one goal more or less. One goal sort of took it away from us. It was Cantona that scored. I never spoke to him after that. But it's one of those things. Overall, you have to say you can start getting greedy. You think you should win everything, but on that occasion, I mean, obviously it was our first time sort of at Wembley with my team, and unfortunately, as I said, United beat us on the day. So just one goal can be heartbreaking. Certainly in cup ties. I mean, obviously if you're playing in the league situation, you've got 8 to 9 months to play, and nearly 40 games, if you like, whatever it is, 38 games from now. If you're in a cup tie, it's a one-off situation. You've got to try and win them games, and when you do get to a final, you're desperate to win them, and it's like a real kick in the teeth if you don't.
So never spoke to Cantona again, eh?
No, I haven't seen him since. That's it. Life it goes, and it's not about that. But it's just, we played all right. It was a very sort of level game. Other people might think different, but they just scored a goal, and unfortunately, we got beat.
So it was defo down to Cantona, not the white suits.
Well, the white suits again. People can talk about them. If we'd have won, people would have said, "Oh, they were great, weren't they?" Basically, again, it was all about the players picked them. We always got a new suit if you went to Wembley. The players picked them; they liked them. I didn't wear one. I was manager. I had a navy blue one. But at the end of the day, you know what's going to come. As I say, if you lose a game, and people are going to start criticising the suits, and I don't think I'd wear one now. That's for sure.
All right, mate. We're going to stay on that coast. We're going to go from San Diego, slightly further north, to LA.
I'm Debbie, originally from Wavertree. I've been living in LA for the last 28 years. What question have you been asked the most that you never get tired of giving the answer to? It could be a good memory or it could be a bad memory, I don't know, but that's my question.
So yeah, she's originally from Wavertree, this girl, but she's been living in LA for nearly 30 years or so now. But her question was, what question have you been asked the most that you never get tired of giving the answer to?
Yeah, where would you rather be, Wavertree or LA? long as you're enjoying yourself. And Waversea's okay. It's not a bad place, to be fair. The question, the hardest question always is, for me, who's your best player you've ever worked with? And obviously, when you've been there for 30 odd years, you've got lots and lots of choices, really. And I'm not one who believes it's about one player. Even when it comes to man of the match, I don't like picking man of the match because it's a team game. And again, I've always sort of tried to instill that in my players. Yes, individually you've got to play well, but you've also got to play as a team. And team players win games at the end of it all. So on that, but overall, I mean, I go back to people like, obviously you've got Dalglish, you've got Ian Rush, you've got Robbie Fowler, you've got McManaman. I don't even want to go near the team that's there now because whatever. So the Glory Boys always get the prizes, and the Glory Boys are the attackers. The defenders, basically, everybody just takes them for granted. I suppose I'd have to say, from where we got him from and where he went to, I would say Ian Rush. Because not only was he our best attacker, and he scored lots of goals for us, he was our best defender. The reason he was our best defender, because obviously we used to press high up the pitch. Rushy would be the first man, being a number 9 or centre forward. He would be the first man to go and close people down. And it's a daft thing actually, because if he stands off 10 yards off a defender, everybody behind him and the Liverpool team would stand 10 yards behind him. It measures off actually more or less exact. So as soon as he closes it down, then they move with it. Everybody closes down all the players, and it's that. And he was perfect at that. Plus, he was always there when it comes to the goals. He had pace, he had strength, and I would have said like Robbie Fowler. I might have mentioned that again. He was totally different to Robbie. Robbie was always in the right place, right time, back of the net. That type of player. But again, he still did his fair share of defending. But Rushy, I think, overall, would have to win the prize.
Rushy, I mean, talk about a footballing brain. I mean, the ins and outs of Ian Rush. I mean, how great of a player truly was he, mate?
Let's say we bought him again from a small club, and he came into Liverpool, and you think, okay, it's been nice, and you play him, and you do different things, and he progressed week after week after week. Got into the reserve team, got into the first team, and then, to be fair, you couldn't leave him out because he was so good in the way he played, and perfect for the type of football that we played. So it's just nice to say that again. I mean, he came from maybe a second or third division club, but when obviously then made himself a top player, not only for Liverpool but internationally for Wales as well.
So it wasn't down to his milk.
To his milk, I don't think so. No, not down to his milk, that's for sure.
Yeah, and for those of you who've never seen that advert, by the way, I mean that was me. I think every kid back in Liverpool started drinking milk galore as a result of that. So you mentioned a little earlier on, mate, as well, with regard to kind of travelling fans and fans all around the world, and it's a good job that's what that was. So we're gonna go all the way over to Japan for our next question, mate.
I'm big in Japan.
Hello, my name is Taisuke Inami.
My name is Amelie. My name is Coco.
We live in Japan. I belong to Liverpool Supporters Club of Japan. On behalf of a member, I have a question for you. You have taken care of a lot of players as a player, coach, and manager. Who was the most talented player you have ever seen? And please tell me that reason. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, it was the kids as well, mate. So it was a great question to follow up your last answer, because the first question was who was the most talented player that you've ever had the privilege of kind of seeing grow, and that was kind of his question then, to be fair. So I want to dive back a little bit more to Robbie Fowler. That's somebody else who you mentioned. What was Robbie like as a youth player coming through?
To be fair, Robbie was like one of them lads who you get there, you think, yeah, he's good, he's not bad. He's got a good ability, but he improved as it went on. He was never the best athlete, out of all the players. Obviously, again, but he was quick enough, had a very sharp brain. But Robbie's biggest asset for me was that he was always in the right place at the right time. If the ball hits the keeper and comes back out, he's there. If the ball gets pulled back, he was always in the right place for players to put the ball to him. And goal scorer, it was just a natural goal scorer. And not only could he score like the real fancy goals, like 25 yards out or whatever, the tap-ins from 5 yards, they're the best goals you can really score as a centre-forward. They're the ones that, if you're not scoring them, then you've got to be in the right place. And he's a great lad. I mean, stood up for himself. Again, we've had sometimes, obviously, as a manager and a player, you have a little fallouts and different things. But Robbie is a football freak. He loves his football, and I think he's gone down to Australia now. I think he's doing something down Australia as a manager. I mean, he could have stayed in Liverpool and done obviously maybe different things, but he's taken the chance. A lot of players don't realise that the managerial side is not just as, I'm not saying it's as easy as the playing side, but obviously a lot of the pressure comes back to the manager. But it was nice to see him go down there, and I get the occasional tweet off him saying that this is going okay and that's that. So he's there. But Robbie Fowler, I think, again, as an all-round player and a kid that just sort of came through the door. I mean, I remember sort of playing against him for Brutal Boys. I played for Brutal Boys and he played for, I think, Liverpool Boys. We did beat them at Brutal Boys, but don't tell them. But no, great. As I say, it's very difficult because you've got Michael Owen, who's very similar in a way. Unbelievable pace, Michael, but different to Robbie, very different to them. But both people, all three of them, like Rushy, Michael and Robbie, all doing the same job, but in a very different way.
I mean, I know you've hinted there a little bit on Robbie and his managerial career. I mean, he's openly said so many different times that you were his favourite manager to work under. And I know you'd mentioned a little bit earlier on about managerial positions being all about man management. I know we've spoken kind of in the past. How can you tell Robbie Fowler what to do? You know.
Well, you can't tell him what to do, but when it comes to like getting in the right place and the right place to score and technique, obviously at that level you very rarely teach him technique. Mostly it's about positional sense, attitude, different things. So that all those things you can improve your player by making sure that they've got the right attitude, making sure that the work rate is there. The natural talent is something that you can't retain. I'm a great believer in to be fair, yeah, occasionally you have to kick somebody at the backside. But I'm a great lover of praise. I'm a great believer in saying, yeah, on a good day, well done, brilliant, you did brilliant there. And as I said before, on another day you say, like, wasn't good enough, lads. And you might single one person out, or you might single the whole team out, whatever. So it's different attitudes, different results, of course, and that. But overall, I mean, Robbie had nearly all. I mean, if he'd have had another yard or so, or 2 yards or so pace, I think he'd have been maybe the best ever. I don't know, but his attitude was spot on.
So I've got a final question for you, mate. Today's been unreal. Thank you very, very much for your time today, Roy. It's an absolute pleasure. And I hope that everyone stays safe and healthy back at home, mate. And that the second I can get to fly back home, and then the second that we can open the doors, that you can fly over here as well. We're looking forward to seeing you in June as well, out in Vegas, mate. But we spoke a lot about the outfield players. What about the cats that we've had over the years? What about the keepers?
Well, the keepers, well, I mean, you have to be crazy to be a keeper, don't you? I mean, that's one of the first things. You have to be mad, and we've had our fair share of them over the years. I mean, if you go back to Shankly's day, a guy who you'd never thought would have been a goalkeeper, Tommy Lawrence. I mean, Tommy was fantastic, really, in his way. No flash, no showy and that. He's just a goalkeeper. Like, again, a lot of his stuff was outside the box. He was always there to make sure that if the ball went through, he was there to kick it away. And then you've got like people like Ray Clements, who was obviously as good as anybody I've ever seen there. Bruce Grobbelaar, again, Bruce was absolutely brilliant, and everything was. I mean, Bruce was something different again. I mean sometimes you think, well, what's he doing in their box? He loved to run outside his own box and make saves and different things. But again, fake character. Never ever try to stop people's character, unless it's a bad character, of course. But again, if they've got a character, I'm a great believer in letting them keep that and let it work for them. So again, goalkeepers are something else. You can't say much about them, and as I say, if you're the manager, like, you can't say to them, well, I wouldn't have done that because you haven't played there. But goalkeepers are a law unto themselves, but good lads as well.
Well, in that sense, I mean, even kind of the camaraderie. I mean, I know it's only the one position, and getting kind of into that position is a tough one. So you've got like even kind of during your time managerial wise, it was James wise and stuff, and then with bonus with bonus being on the fringe of that.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, JMO was. I mean, I know the aspects. I mean, he made a few mistakes, but again, as a goalkeeper, if you make great saves, people say, "Oh, you had a good game today." If you make one error, it's a goal. I mean, the world is on your back, and you get the blame for everything. People might have made a mistake further up the pitch, but if you don't make the save, or you mishandle the ball or something, then you're also blamed for everything. So it's not the best position to play, but they used to, as I say, that's why you have to be mad to be a goalkeeper.
Well, definitely, right. One more time, Roy, thank you very, very much for your time today. We've covered so many different things. Love to the family once more.
Thanks, mate.
And hopefully next time I'm home in Bootle, we'll get to go out. But I know we spoke about the fans and singing and different songs about players. So there's a bit of a Kopconnect exclusive for us right now. And talking about goalkeepers, our mate Marc Kenny is about to release a new song. So we're going to get to see kind of a little bit of an exclusive on that. So yeah, Roy, once again, mate, cheers.
Thank you very much. Can I just say, by the way, to all our fans all over the world, you'll never walk alone.
That's brilliant.
Nice one, Roy.
We're off air, Roy, so thank you very much, mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take care, boys.
All right, mate. Take it easy. I'll shoot you the text as soon as we're done.
Okay.
All right, mate. Talk to you tomorrow as well.
See you soon, Mark, somewhere.
Correct. All right, Roy. Cheers, mate. You can hit the off button on your end.
Listen to him play, that's Roy.
Oh, it's fair enough. Sit and listen, for sure.
Yeah, he's in the dance now.
To get the two of you dancing. So yeah, I'll send you over this video, mate, so you can have a little watch. This is like a little fan video we put together and Mark for the song, but it's to the tune and Radio Gaga. But all we need is Alison Becker.
I thought you were going to sing, actually.
Right, so there you go. So that was a Kopconnect exclusive. Couple of gremlins in the system. I think Roy and Rob's mic was still on when they're chatting over that. But that is the new one I'm going to be putting out in a couple of weeks' time. All we need is Alison Becker. As you can see, I've got me Becker shirt on as well. We're going to be running a competition for that to win a signed Alison Becker shirt. Get my words out. So all you got to do is go to the Kopconnect.com website, or go to the Kopconnect group on Facebook as well, and all the info about the competition will be there. So we're going to be running that over the next month. A big thank you to Roy Evans. How good was that? Absolute gentleman. He's going to be joining us out in Las Vegas next year for Cop Vegas. So again, go to the Kopconnect.com website, register your interest there. All the info about the whole event is on there. So I'm going to leave you with a little song, Fields of Anfield Road. And big thanks to Rob Glover, our host, this evening, depending on where you are, of course. Also, Kelly working in the background as well. Cheers, mate. And our guest of honour, Roy Evans, as well. Outside the Shankly gates, I hear a carpet calling. Shankly, they have taken you away, but you left the great 11 before you went to heaven. There's glory round the fields of Anfield Road. All round the fields of Anfield Road, where once we watched the King Kenny play. Stevie Highway on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing of the glory round the fields of Anfield Road. Outside Paisley gates, I hear a carpet calling. Paisley, they have taken you away, but you led a great 11 to Rome in 77. And the Red Men, they're still playing the same way. All round the fields of Anfield Road, where once we watched the King Kenny play. Stevie Highway on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing of the glory round the fields of Anfield Road. Besides Hillsborough Flame, I hear a carpet moaning. Why so many taken on that day? Justice has never been done, but their memory will carry on. The glory round the fields of Anfield Road. All round the fields of Anfield Road, where once we watched the King Kenny play. Stevie Highway on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. The glory round the fields of Anfield Road. All round the fields of Anfield Road, where once we watched the King Kenny play. A Stevie Highway on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. Glory round the fields of Anfield Road. The glory round the fields of Anfield Road. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed that Kopconnect, the first series with a legend. A big shout out to Carragher's New York as well. Hope everyone's well there. And head to Kopconnect.com, the website, register your interests, and join our growing Facebook community of Reds from all over the globe. Just search for Kopconnect on there as well. So thanks very much, and we'll see you soon.